Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. So today we're going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I wanted this to go up at 6 months in June. When I'm filming it, it's actually just the beginning of July, so I didn't do terrible. But anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and do this tag. I didn't do it last year because I wasn't really a part of the booktube community and I kind of joined at the end. It looks like fun, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. The first question says, best book you've read so far in 2017, because this says 2016. Best book you've read so far in 2017. And I'm going to give that to, I got all my books sitting over here. I'm going to give that to The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I was thinking about another book, but honestly, I feel like this has been the best book I've read, and I've read some really good books this year, but I do still have to give this the #1 spot. This book was just so thought-provoking. If you don't know, this book in the booktube community, some people have been saying Thug, is based around the Black Lives Matter movement. I do have a full non-spoiler review on it, so I won't go too much into depth, and you guys can check that out if you are interested. I will have it linked in the description box for you if you do decide to check that out. The next question is best sequel you've read so far in 2016. Now, I haven't read a ton of sequels. The only series I was really into is Harry Potter, and I've been loving that. But I actually decided to go with a series that I started this summer, and that's To All the Boys I Loved Before. So the sequel is P.S. I Still Love You, and this is by Jenny Han, and I truly enjoyed the second book. Now, there were moments in this book that kind of frustrated me, the emotional roller coaster that is Laura Jean, but I still really enjoyed this book. And I remember after I read it being so upset with myself that I did not have the third book. I do have it now. I did break my book buying ban to get that third book because I could not stop thinking about it. So I really enjoyed this book. This trilogy is, we follow a girl named Laura Jean. She's like 16 years old, and we kind of follow her in high school as she experiences some things for the first time. The series is based, the trilogy is based around the fact that she writes love letters to guys, kind of as her way of kind of cleansing herself and getting over them, that she never means to be sent to them, and then one day they're sent out, and then the story just takes off from there. So I really loved it, and this sequel was actually really good. The third question says new release you haven't read yet but want to. I really need to get some water. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to this book because I did read just a little bit of it, but I put it down for another book, so I'm gonna count this as my new release that I really want to read, and I think I'm gonna take this on vacation with me. This is I Can't Make This Up: Life Lessons by Kevin Hart. I'm a huge Kevin Hart fan, first off. I love to hear him tell stories. I have been to one of his shows before, and I really love him. I wanted to support him, so I picked up the book, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. So, and what I did read so far was really funny and entertaining, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this and seeing what I think of it. The fourth question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I would have to say I'm really excited for They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I remember seeing that on Goodreads, and I'm like, why is nobody talking about it? The synopsis sounded great, and then I realized it hadn't came out yet, so I'm excited for that. And also A-Marie is coming out with a book. She has a channel, Books Beauty A-Marie, and she's coming out with a book this month, I believe, and it's a villain anthology, and it's called Because You Love to Hate Me, and it just sounds really fun and different. I love short stories, so I'm really looking forward to reading that one as well. So those are my top 2 releases for the second half of the year that I'm looking forward to. Number 5, biggest disappointment. I gave that to The Duff. Now, there were other books that I enjoyed a lot less, but when I think of biggest disappointment, to me that's a book that I had really high expectations for, and it just was not met, so I have to give it to The Duff. I truly feel like I am gonna probably try to reread this at some point, definitely not this year, but this book just disappointed me. Like, even now I just feel jumbled about this book. I can't come up with a concise opinion on how I feel about this book, and it just left me confused and jumbled, and I just and then also I watched the movie first, so maybe that threw me off. I don't know, but I absolutely loved the movie, so I was like, I'm gonna just love the book. And no, I don't love the book. So that was my biggest disappointment. Biggest surprise, oh, it has to be Marcus Zuzak, I Am the Messenger. I have never encountered a story like this. Like, I've never encountered a story where I was just not, almost like not enjoying it, but not quite. This book was unsettling. It was thought-provoking. It was uncomfortable. It was emotional. It was tense. It went dark. I couldn't connect with the character. And one thing I found is that I am definitely I need to connect with the character. Even if I can't fully connect with you, even if I'm not at that point in my life, on some level I need to be able to connect with the character a little bit. And that still was not the case, but I ended up absolutely enjoying this book. I'm so glad I did not DNF it. I didn't start enjoying this book until part 3. So I'm glad I stuck it out because I had to understand. But I would, just reading this, if you would have told me somewhere in the thick of reading this that like, oh, you would love this book, this will probably be in my favorite books of the year, no way, no way. So I absolutely love this book. I would highly recommend it. Know that you need to give yourself time and emotional availability to digest this book. I'm telling you, trust me on that. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I don't want to scare you off. What's next? Favorite new author? And I would have to say, now a lot of the authors I read, I've only read just a few books from them, but at this point I've read 3 books from Jenny Han. So I love Jenny Han's writing. I love imaginative writing. It's just written so well. I absolutely love her writing. So I would say Jenny Han is definitely a favorite writer of mine. A new favorite author of mine. And then I would also say I'm really interested to see what else Angie Thomas puts out because her writing is impeccable. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what else she puts out. She's definitely on my radar as somebody that I want to experience more from. And also I just have a couple people that I'm interested in at this point. Also, Leigh Bardugo, oh my goodness, I just read 6 of Crows, you guys. Yes, if you have been a part of the channel, you know I put up that video, top books I want to read, that I already own this summer, and I own the duology. So yes, I will be starting Crooked Kingdom, and yes, I read 6 of Crows. So, whoo, she's good. Newest fictional crush. Now I kind of struggle with this one a little bit because I don't really feel like I get fictional crushes in the way that I used to when I was younger. I stayed with a fictional crush, but if I just had to pick somebody, then I just decided to go with actually a book I didn't enjoy all that much, but it's The Perfect Blend by Trish Perry, and this actually is a series called the Tea Shop series. Didn't realize that, thought it was a standalone, but the character in here is Kendall James, and he was just yummy. Like, there's just no other word for it. I mean, this is an adult book, okay, so keep that in mind. So he's older, he's established, but he was just also super sweet, like the perfect small town gentleman. He was such a gentleman. He was so nice. He had a good heart. And I really loved him. You know, I really loved him as a character, and I think that's part of why I was kind of disappointed in this book, because I wanted more development, because I thought he was such a strong character. He wasn't even the main character. So yeah, I would have to give it to Kendall. Look at that, we're on first name basis, right? Newest favorite character, and you know what? Even though this character makes me crazy sometimes, I am again going to give it to Laura Jean in the P.S. I Still Love You series. I mean the P.S. I Still Love You series. The To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. And I would also say Kitty, which is her younger sister in this series. I love both of those characters so much. So I would say these 2 characters, and I know I'm picking more than one, but it's really hard, you guys, because I've just had some good books. I would also have to say G from My Lady Jane. I have a full non-spoiler review on that. And I would also have to say probably, I can't even pick a character from the 6 of Crows series. Like, I just love them all. I just love them all. So it's really hard for me to pick. But those characters, they're my new team. They're my new team. What's next? Book that made you cry. We're going to go back. Give it to this book. This book, I mean, just, I experienced every emotion. I laughed, I cried, I teared up, I, you know, rooted for these characters, I experienced their pain. Just, like I said, I have a full non-spoiler review on it, but this book definitely made me cry more than once, for sure. Book that made you happy? Oh, anything Harry Potter. Anything Harry Potter. I'm reading this series. I just finished the 5th book, so there will be a discussion coming for that in the next month. And then I I am moving on to the next book, which is the 6th book. I haven't started it yet, but anything Harry Potter made me happy. And also, when I think about this book, it just makes me happy as well. And that's The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This also makes me happy. Just looking at it makes me happy. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year? Actually, I could have kept it up. I have not bought a ton of books this year, actually, you guys. So I was kind of torn. Both of these are a bit abstract. But The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I think this is beautiful, and it's kind of like texture a little bit. Like it's smooth, but then the words are texture. I just love the way it feels in my hands. If you're a reader, you know, and if you're watching this, you definitely are, you know. So I love the way it feels. But then also a book that I can just appreciate, one, because one of my favorite colors is yellow, but also it's just abstract, it's simple, but I love it, and that is Pride and Prejudice. And when I do get my bookshelves this year, I am going to display this book, and I'm still reading it. I'm not even finished with it, you guys, but I am going to finish this book this year. So I would say these two have been my most beautiful buys that I bought this year. Or did I buy this last year? No, I think I bought both of these this year. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Well, again, I just did the video on top books that I want to read by the end of the summer. That could also be top books I want to read by the end of the year, because that's definitely the case. I'm going to try for the summer, but we'll see. But those are definitely like books that I need to finish reading. I will say books that, you know, again, I mentioned Kevin Hart. Definitely need to read this by the end of the year. What else? I need to read Crooked Kingdom. I'm trying to think any off the top of my head. Definitely Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. And How to Soothe Your Nerves, I think is what it's called, by Dr. Did I say Dr. Lur? By Dr. Angela Neal Barnett. And I talked about both of those in that video. And then the last question says favorite book community member. Now, I watch and enjoy a ton of people on here, so it was really hard for me to even think about like a number one. I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of people who tie, but I would say a community member that I feel like I'm really enjoying a lot more lately. I'm really getting into his videos. I find that I don't generally miss a video. Is Peter Likes Books. I just love his personality, and I feel like, you know, if you watch my channel, we definitely, I think, have different personalities, but I just love his personality. Every time he laughs, it cracks me up and it makes me laugh. I feel like he's just a little ball of sunshine, and I just really love him. And I just also love his love for books. It's so evident when he talks about books, and that's what I love most about this community. I can click on different people's videos and we all have such different personalities, but our one thing that binds us is just such an intense love for books and the power of a book, and I just love that. So I would say he is my community member that I'm really getting into a lot more. So yeah, and that is actually it. So I know I'm one of the last people to do this tag. So if you have not done this tag and you want to do it, please consider yourself officially tagged by me, you know, and you can say that tagged by Purposeful Pursuits, because you absolutely are. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video, because I really, really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.